On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1964. We're going to be taking a look at The Ventures, and they're going to be performing Walk, Don't Run. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, bringing lead guitar to the masses, but melodic lead guitar as well. Being an instrumental band, The Ventures just gave something different. Back in the 50s and the 60s here, the performance that we're going to be looking at is from a performance in Japan. And of course, they were huge in the USA and then huge in Japan as well. But we will be jumping into it. We do have the guitar out as well. As always, there's going to be a link in the description below, so you guys can click on that link if you want to watch it multiple times. I might be jumping into this at points, so just so that you're aware of that, let's get into it and see how they get on. So I'm just going to jump in here because there's so much going on with the guitar playing. Just with The Ventures full stop and with Noki Edwards, just his playing style. But the picking that's going on, it's going to fly under everyone's radar that doesn't play guitar because of the melodic aspects of it, because there's a tune to it. And all of the technique that's being applied is relevant to the melody of the song. It isn't just technique for technique's sake. And that's a huge thing that I think a lot of instrumental bands, especially if people like to play technically or they want to try and show people that they can play fast, they forget about the melody. It's got to make sense as a song. And so, keeping the melody within the songs is really important, and just executing it live like this. The first thing to say about performing live here is that they are pushing the tempo. And I think because this is obviously a performance made for a video, we start with this close-up shot. Obviously that was shot at a different time because there's not a cameraman over the top of the drum kit here. So it's been pieced together maybe from different parts of other performances as well, because sometimes when you see the fretwork going on, it might not necessarily go with what we're hearing. So I think it has been cut together. But the fact that it is so pushed tempo-wise, you think, well, it's definitely not the original track because that's so much slower. The other thing that, is totally different is the amount of palm muting that we've got going on here. Now, that's something that you could say has been thrown in there just to make it a different version because it is live. But one thing that it will do is keep your strings muted. Once you've got the you can maybe hear how when I'm playing the notes, you play them and the note stops. It doesn't ring out like going like that, which is more akin to the record when it was released. So we do definitely get this muted sound to it. And we're just going to break things down a little bit technique-wise so that we can get an appreciation of it, and of course we can now know that it's going to be a lot faster than we're expecting. Okay, so we've kind of got this. So it's going to be alternate picking that we're starting with, and this kind of classic, high gain sound. There's no real bottom end to the guitar. It's really trebly, really does cut through. But just that alternate picking technique, keeping that even and consistent. You have to practice doing that for quite a long time to get it consistent. And what we're going to be doing in this performance is alternate picking, but jumping over strings. Because we've got the strings muted, it makes it a little bit easier, gives you a bit of a safety net, but we will listen on. Okay, so that's how we start before then jumping into the run. Yeah. And so here we have what I just played. So there's this classic wobble on the whammy bar. So just to make things a little bit clearer, so you can see my left hand on the guitar, the riff goes like that. Same again. Oh. And this is now where we've got these two notes being played at the same time. This isn't going to be an instructional video, but that was the little wobble that you want to, again, have access to your whammy bar for that, because you have to bring it in quite quickly if you want to stick it, especially, stick that whammy bar in this section, this kind of tempo. When it is being pushed, you will need to have it just fixed in a position where you can grab it and add that vibrato. But, and again, when you're using the whammy bar, I know that back in the day it's called a tremolo and tremolo arm and tremolo bar, and people got confused as to what tremolo was, because tremolo's not vibrato, and then it was also called then a vibrato bar, so then people realized what it actually did, because that's vibrato, it's changing the pitch of the note, and it isn't tremolo. Tremolo's a different effect entirely. So yeah, and then it's called a whammy bar as well, after a song called Wham, where it was used a lot, and then obviously that then ended the confusion about vibrato and tremolo, just calling it a whammy bar. So anyway, moving on with this performance, yeah, I mean, it's just melodic the whole way through, and this chord, progression that we've got, just simple rundown, A, G, F, E. But it's all about this melody over the top. Let's listen on. And again, we've kind of got this alternate picking, just running down the muted A string, or might have been the muted E string. Let's have a listen to that again. Oh, it was the A string, so I was right the first time. And it's something that, you've got to practice with palm muted, that alternate picking. Because if we go, it obviously has a totally different sound. I kind of then want to go. So you can tell that it's almost such a different sound, it leads you into another song. But yeah, that's another analysis video. But getting back to the technique, this is what I mean, it's all just top level technique, considering we're pushing the tempo as well. And here you can really, that sticks out. It's so muted. We're hardly getting any notes here. But obviously when the harmonies come in, that's when you have to now be a little bit more open, and you'll get those strings ringing out because obviously you want to hear both of the notes harmonizing with each other. Having said that, we just had... So that was all muted as well. Kind of something like that. But, yeah, muted all the way through there. And, I mean, I love to hear that kind of thing, even though technically it's not correct, and everyone will say, oh, he let his B string ring out there. But, you know, it just shows that it's live, and they're not pretending to do it. Have a listen again, and listen out for that B string just ring out. Nah, it shouldn't be ringing out, but this is sometimes what happens when you're playing guitar. An open string will ring out when you don't want it to. You can just, catch it with your pick accidentally or something. And so now we have a kind of little run down and then just into a C. Into the A minor. This is cool. So we've got... okay, so we're going to be a little bit higher up here. And... probably... I mean, there's different places that you can... Whether that's muted or not. It might be just totally open. And... Oh, yeah. Okay, so we then went to what kind of sounded like an A minor, but was it that high up? That is the question. So I'm not sure that it was, and it wouldn't have been there. It might have been most likely there. So, which then kind of makes sense with playing it down here and sliding up. So, yeah, just ascending to that position. That's what it sounds like is going on here. You can play it in different positions, but just because of that final chord, I'm going to say that that final A minor is being played on the high E, B, and G string. But let's get back into it. And again, the alternate picking. And then we're back into the riff. I just want to have a little look. Okay, right, so we've got this so it's just this this little run that we've got going on. I also love the I don't know what to call it. Either showmanship or sleight of hand. When we kind of go down here and we go... And it looks like he's doing something with the headstock, but you're almost like going... Yeah, and it sounds like, stretching leather or something, but he's got his pick on his low E string here, and it's just moving it. You might be able to see my right hand, just moving... with that kind of motion, but it's all kind of happening down here. You get all those kinds of sounds. So yeah, using the side of your pick to go against the coils of the string. But anyway, yeah, I mean that's a cool little sound, and I'm sure people are trying to figure out what's going on up here. How's he getting that sound from the headstock? And I mean, just before we get into the riff again, I mean, there's so much going on with that alternate picking, because it sounds like we've got this. No. That is precise. It's the same every single time. It's not like going and just kind of throwing in everything. We've got dun 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 dun. So there's a miss there of the upstroke. Obviously, I'm getting really technical here, but going. Keeping that alternate picking going and missing out that pick. So going miss, miss. And then down, up, down, down. So we're missing that upstroke. And it's totally intentional. This is the point, that there's so much technique going on here that even though, I mean, it might sound, you know, really straightforward to somebody that doesn't play the guitar, but intentionally doing alternate picking and then missing out picks in order to get that galloping sound, I mean, that's just, yeah, a whole load of practice that you're going to have to do to sit down and literally start going. And you might not even be able to do it that quickly to begin with. And there we have it. And I mean, right at the end there, and just a really, really subtle lean on it, and then the vibrato. So yeah, I mean, this is the thing to take away from this particular performance and analysis video is the amount that we've got going on here. I mean, it's difficult to pick out here because I mean it's so fast, but also there's a lot of notes going on. Once you've kind of got that here, maybe again, I'm just kind of going through melodies in my head here. So that second finger might come in there, and that little hammer on and pull off second fret of the D string onto your D, E, hammer on, pull off, and then back to the C, and then back to your E. But anyway, like I said, this isn't going to be an analysis video. But it is going to be an analysis video. It's not going to be an instructional video. As I always say, but now this is the point that once you start kind of breaking it down, again, for a guitarist, and if you play guitar yourself, there's so much that you can take from this and appreciate. So it's great to get the guitar out, and any excuse to do it, but what a great excuse looking at the Ventures. And thank you guys for requesting this particular video for me to take a look at. Keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!